So my name is Laura McMillan and I'm the manager of Coventry City of Culture Trust, which is the independent company set up to run Coventry's 2021 City of Culture bid.
Okay, and we know the judges came in on Thursday last week. I wondered how that went.
They did, it went really well. We had a few members of the judging panel come into the city along with members of the Department for Culture, Digital Media and... do that again. The wrong way around. The Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, which are the company that are running the City of Culture project. And it was really exciting to actually show them Coventry, because I mean you write these two bid documents that are kind of 100 pages plus long together, but to actually stand in what was Fargo Village surrounded by nearly 200 people is just an incredible experience. And one of the judges went out afterwards and he went, "God, you really want this, don't you?" And we were like, "Well, yeah." So yeah, it was great fun, it was exciting, it was nerve-wracking. I mean, so many things can go wrong. We had them on a bus, we had them driving around Fosen and Hillfields, then we had them on a walking tour, and it was, I don't know if you remember last Thursday, but it was tipping it down. So we were really lucky that we had just a bit of a break in the weather when they walked around.
And what's the general purpose of the bid? What's the aim?
So one of the big aims of Coventry's City of Culture bid is exploring how a young and diverse city such as Coventry can shout about how great it is, because Coventry's not so good at spreading the love outside. We're really passionate about our own city, and I always say it's like your best friend, so it's, if anyone else says anything about Coventry you get really defensive, but actually outwardly we're quite quiet, so we really want to start shouting about how fantastic Coventry is.
What aspect of Coventry sets us apart from the other cities?
So I think that our unique selling point is how young and how diverse we are. So we are a city 7 years younger on average than the rest of the UK, and we are hugely multicultural and hugely diverse. So Pete Chambers from the Music Museum said it best in our bid film, and he said we were multicultural before we even knew what multiculturalism was. And I was like, yes, that's exactly right. We don't have all of this diversity and all these cultures in our city by accident. People have gravitated here because we're a city of peace and reconciliation, because we're a city of welcome. And I think that's genuinely what sets us apart and what will make us a fantastic city of culture. On the front of our bid, we've said UK City of Cultures. We're not just one, we've got hundreds and hundreds of different cultures, and that's really exciting.
So are there any events in the coming weeks or that have already taken place for Black History Month?
Not specifically. We worked with Belgrade Theatre on their Black History Month projects in the past. The next event that we have coming up is Changing Tracks. So we're working with the Positive Youth Foundation, who do absolutely amazing work in the city with young people from communities across the whole of Coventry. And they are coming together with 6 young artists and 30 plus classical musicians to put on a concert at Warwick Arts Centre at Butterworth Hall on the 1st of November. And that's taking a kind of, his name's Scatter, it's kind of this grime artist and classical musicians, and looking at what an exciting collaboration that can be, and how these amazing classical musicians that are kind of, I mean, well renowned, can learn from people like Scatter and Sibby and Danny, who are kind of at the beginning of their careers and writing their own music. So that's one of the most exciting things that we've got coming up at the moment.
Do you know what the judging criteria is based on? Could you talk about that a little bit?
So City of Culture is not about taking the most perfect city and giving it a lovely title and having a fantastic year. That's not what it's about. You have to show you're going to make step changes. So you have to show that there are challenges. So we have, although we have a great population in Coventry, there's quite a lot of isolation. So our older community aren't mixing with our younger communities. Our student populations aren't mixing with our kind of 50, 60 plus. We've got isolation within our diverse communities. So we have kind of pockets of our residents that are working together, but they're not really mixing. So it's all about how do you bring everybody together to celebrate for one common goal, but also make lasting change. So it's lasting change in how our arts organisations are funded. We have a great independent arts organisations, arts scene in Coventry, but it's quite fragile. So it's how City of Culture can work with them to make them less project-based. So they're not kind of just doing this one show and then applying for some more funding and then looking at what show they could do next, how to make those models more sustainable. And it's also about how the children in our schools can grow up in a city with more to do, with more places to play, with more places to go and see theatre and music. But culture is also about all sorts of different things. It's not about opera and theatre and Shakespeare. It's about food, it's about gaming, it's about the internet, it's about YouTubers and bloggers, and it's we're really exploring what culture can mean to a city, which I think is really exciting, and it'll make us a really unique city of culture.
So you mentioned schools having things to do, like school children having things to do, and how schools might be impacted, but is there anything more you can say about how schools are potentially going to be impacted or are being impacted by it?
So at the moment, we, with one of our sponsors, PetXI, who do some phenomenal work in schools, they are taking our bid film, which you should watch if you haven't, because it's lovely, it makes me cry every time, and they're taking it and they're showing it to schools, but they're not just showing it to schools, they're running workshops. So they're going to show the film and they're running workshops to find out actually what does culture mean to those school children. And we've also got an education programme in our bid that will start kind of as soon as we win, touch wood, and will run all the way through into 2021 and beyond. Because if you think the young people that are in universities now, by the time we get to 2021, 2022, they'll be running the show, I'll be long gone. So they'll be the people, and well, hopefully not by 2022, but I mean 2030, 2040, it's the next generation of programmers, the next generation of producers, the next generations of journalists and filmmakers and designers and writers. So there's a whole industry that we're going to build, and we have the basics of it in Coventry. We're not kind of starting from nothing. I mean, Fargo Creative Village, we have amazing independent businesses here, but we have to support young people to know that there are other kind of careers in the arts, not just in acting. Because I did a drama degree, and I decided in my second year that I didn't want to act. That wasn't what I wanted to do. So it's understanding all the different surrounding careers, because arts organisations, they need lawyers, they need accountants, so you can still feel like you work in a creative industry without actually having to act or sing or dance. And that again is another thing that we're going to be investigating through City of Culture, how you bring those young people with you.
Okay, thank you so much.